Quick video on Miss Havisham. So, Miss Havisham is one of the most bitter and twisted, in a sense that she's, like she says, she has sick fancies to see a child play. One of the most bitter and twisted, unhappy characters in all of literature, and here you have her on stage. Now, I would play her. I would make her a physical embodiment of how bitter and twisted she is. That's my cat ripping up the sofa. Thanks, Tiger. You gonna come here? Come here. I don't think so. Anyway, so I would have her physically twisted on stage and bitter. The face would be contorted and screwed up. And she's a very frightening, almost grotesque caricature of a Medusa crossed with a witch, crossed with a ghost. The frightening feminine. And she's quite compelling because of this. So she, on stage, and I'm now reading this from another theatre critic. This one's called Elizabeth Davis, and she says, in Neil Bartlett's staging of Great Expectations at Bristol Old Vic, you hear the story more than watch it. The chains of the convict, the hammering of the blacksmith, the unhinged humming of Miss Havisham, which are as much a part of the characters as the costume, expression and lines. Now that's interesting anyway, isn't it? So we know that she has this unhinged humming. Wow. We aren't told that in the script. This would be something that the director, Neil Bartlett, the writer-director, would have chosen to go with, potentially. So, frightening, unhinged, bitter, twisted. Very selfish as well. We assume that because she's this upper-class woman that's asked Pip to come and play, that she's going to in some way help him out. She does pay Joe a bit of money, but she isn't the one who's responsible for him becoming a gentleman. That is Magwitch, the convict. Now I'm just going to scan through this and see if there's anything more. That Elizabeth Davis has to say. It is Miss Havisham who steals the show, as she does the book. Adoja Ando in the role starts out almost cartoon-esque and ends as reptile. Cold-blooded, no love. This is what happens for a lifetime of bitterness and regrets. You shrivel up and you lose your humanity. Ooh. She speaks as though she's forgotten how, and moves as if air is not her native element. How would she move then? As if she can't move through air, as if she could be blown away, as if she's fragile, as if she crawls, if she's a spider. Interesting that. How would you envisage that? Now, what else does she say? Protégée Estella is a stony Laura Reese who draws the audience and Pip in only to shock, draws them in only to shock with a scratch to the face or a cruel remark. I'll talk about Estella in another video. I just wanted to talk very quickly about Miss Havisham. So, I would, even though she's contorted in terms of her face, and this is all a hideous game that she's playing with Estella, and she says, you can break his heart. So she's quite malevolent, puppet master-esque. Her eyes could almost light up. She could really stare at Pip for a bizarre length of time without talking. Her eyes could flip back and forth between Estella and Pip, watching. Like, it really, I don't want to use the word creepy because it's overused, so you'd have to find your own word. Unsettling, disconcerting. She does intimidate Pip because of her grandeur, her grand house, Sutter's house, and she is like a nightmare. Fairy godmother gone wrong. You know the fairy godmother from The Wizard of Oz? She's like the bad fairy godmother. She's a jilted bride, was a jilted bride who sat in her wedding dress every day. She knows nothing of the hours of the day. She has brought up Estella to break other men's hearts. And I mean, if that's not disturbing, I don't know what is. So she's become stony-hearted and almost fossilized, fossils, over time. So she is everything that you should not do or be. Somebody whose life has stopped like the clocks. Somebody who's not felt any genuine love for anyone else. It's completely selfish. She's just focused on herself. That's why she's gotten Estella to do this to exact revenge, because her heart is so bitter and so stuck on her past heartbreak. No forgiveness, no growth, static character. Really, what else is there to say about her? You could use costume and makeup to make her look even more ethereal, spectral, and I mean that in the ghost sense as well. As she's like a spectre. It's quite frightening. So yes, that's it for now. This is already 6 minutes long. Enjoy. Yes, that's Miss Havisham.